Today, we're going to break down the playbook for how to do it right. And you know who our teachers are? Some of the most passionate, effective persuaders out there. Football fans. And I mean, just listen to this. This is the raw, unfiltered passion of sports fandom. It is emotional, it is intense, and believe it or not, it's a masterclass in how to persuade. This isn't about being polite or subtle. It's about rallying a tribe, creating belief out of thin air. And in its own world, it is incredibly effective. So that's the real question here, isn't it? It's loud, it's completely one-sided, but it works. People get fired up. So why? How does this kind of communication, which on the surface just seems like shouting, actually succeed? Well, that's what we're here to figure out. To really get our heads around it, we first have to think about communication for what it truly is, a game of connection, of influence, and ultimately, of persuasion. And look, this isn't just for sports fanatics or slick marketers. This is for all of us, every day. You're trying to get your team at work on board with a new strategy. You're trying to convince your friends which movie to go see on a Friday night. You're even just trying to explain your point of view in a conversation. It's totally fundamental to how we connect with other people. So to really see these principles in action, we need to zoom in on a case study. We're going to take one single topic and listen to how 3 completely different voices talk about it. Okay, so the topic is the upcoming season for the football club Real Madrid. The goal here is just to see how different communication styles can tackle the exact same subject. Let's meet our 3 speakers. First up, we have the fan. This comes from a YouTube channel called Football Carnage. Just listen to the words he's using. Clip it. Humiliation. I believe. This is all personal. It's all emotion. It's built on a shared history, a shared feeling of needing redemption. He's speaking directly to the heart of the true believers. Now for voice number 2, the Reddit analyst. This is from a Real Madrid fan forum. And the vibe is totally different, right? It's all about tactics, player formations, specific roles on the field. This is a conversation for a very different kind of community, one that prides itself on deep, analytical knowledge of the game itself. And finally, our third voice, the professional journalist from Sports Illustrated. Notice they call the team Los Blancos. That's the team's official nickname. The tone is formal, objective, completely fact-based. It's all about schedules and official context. There are no hot takes, no emotional pleas, no tactical debates, just pure information. So here's the million-dollar question. 3 voices, 1 topic. Which one is the best? The fan, the analyst, the journalist? And the answer is, well, it completely depends on who you're talking to. Being effective isn't about being right. It's about making the right connection with the right audience. And that right there brings us to the single most important rule in this entire playbook. You have to put your audience first, always. This quote from Forbes just nails it. Connection is the key to persuasion. And connection starts with respect. You have to show people that you respect them. You respect their time, you understand their needs, you get their challenges. You have to prove you know them before you can ever expect them to listen to you. So what's one of the best ways to do that? Adopt a conversational tone. Think about it. The goal isn't to sound like a textbook or some corporate robot reading a speech. The goal is to be an approachable expert. You know, the person who's not just smart, but who you can actually talk to and trust. And there are some really clear psychological reasons why this just works. When you sound like a real person, you build a human connection. That connection earns you trust. And when people trust you, your message suddenly becomes way more memorable. Plus, when you use simpler, more direct language, you're naturally being more inclusive. You're making sure everybody gets it. All right, so that's the why. It all sounds great in theory, but how do we actually put this into practice? Let's get into the personalization playbook and look at the strategy. This whole audience-first idea has actually been turned into a science. In the marketing world, they call it personalized marketing, and it's all about using data, what people like, what they do, to deliver content that's tailor-made just for them. It's a huge shift from shouting one message to many people to having a one-to-one conversation. So how do you actually do it? Well, it really boils down to researching 3 key things about your audience. First, the business context. What's happening in their world, their industry? Second, the cultural context. Are there any local or social details you need to know? And finally, the personal context. What are their specific needs, their challenges, their goals? If you can nail these 3, you're ready to make a real connection. And this is where things get really wild. Technology is taking this to a whole new level. What they're seeing here is an example from a study where researchers used AI to basically create fake audiences, or personas. The AI tests out different messages to see what's most persuasive for each one. Notice in both of these charts that top bar is way, way higher than the others. That's the AI figuring out what a specific type of person cares about most. It's like having a cheat code for communication. And this isn't just a theory. The real-world data completely backs it up. In one study, if you just add up the people who strongly agree and agree, those first two big bars you see, you get a whopping 65% of consumers who say they feel more valued when they get personalized messages. This isn't a nice to have anymore. It's what people actually expect. And this chart from that same AI study, yeah, it looks a little complicated, but it shows just how scientific this can get. Let me just draw your eye to a couple of things down at the bottom. See this bar for success story? It's got a positive value. Now look right below it. Failure story has a negative value. The data is literally telling us that for this specific audience, talking about success works and talking about failure pushes them away. This isn't guesswork. It's data-driven communication. But look, this is about so much more than just a sales pitch or some marketing campaign. These principles are absolutely universal. This is not some newfangled idea from the tech world. It's actually rooted in the ancient study of rhetoric. The scholar Gary McCarran puts it perfectly here. Speech is never neutral. It is always, always loaded with a purpose, with a point of view, with an attempt to move an audience. Personalization is really just the modern, data-powered version of that ancient art, and you can see it everywhere once you start looking. Think about what makes a great leader. Think about public health campaigns that actually change behavior. Think about how we're trying to teach AI to talk to us in a way that feels natural. At the end of the day, it all comes down to the fundamental human art of being understood. So in a world that is just drowning in noise, absolutely drowning in information, the goal isn't to be the loudest voice in the room. It's to be the one that actually connects. It's to be the one that gets heard because it's speaking to somebody, not just at them. So the final question I'll leave you with is this: who are you really talking to?